Hey there, my friend Perry Tinsley here. Now, let me ask you, have you ever wondered how your thoughts can really shape your life? I Back in the day, I never really gave it much attention. I almost said much thought. But on this podcast, I want to discuss how disciplining your mind, and I know can seem like, oh my gosh, I got to get things all structured and really organized, but just how disciplining your mind and your thinking can really help you achieve your fitness goals and really keep that energy flowing. And it doesn't have to be this resistant, militant sort of thing. It can really be something that expands for you and makes it really, really easy and simplifies things. So, but for sure, I want to welcome you to another Power Blast podcast where we provide nourishment for the soul, allowing you to transform from the inside out, because we talk about mindset stuff. And that's providing you rapid results in mindset and fitness so that you can recharge that mental and physical battery of yours and reclaim your power. And also, head over to my calendar so we can have a conversation. My calendar is at talktoperry.com. You and me. talktoperry.com, because I want to hear what goals you're working on. It's all about keeping your energy high so that you can reach those goals. We do that in 15 minutes. Talktoperry.com is where that's at. So our minds, they're powerful things and really powerful tools. And so they can lead us to the greatest success, or they can hold us back. Now, I know I'm not telling you anything revolutionary here, but I think a lot of us, we get into so much of the auto programming and automatic habits and automatic thinking, whether it's our past, however we grew up with certain beliefs and certain stories that we glue onto, that a lot of the time it really holds us back. But if we can control our thoughts, which I'm letting you know that you can achieve amazing things with your goals. So one of the things that, and it's not magic, it really boils down to discipline. But one of the things that I started realizing, I called myself on it. Now this is 20 years ago, and I to be honest, I didn't know how to even tell it when people would say, "Well, gosh, how did you get started? How did you get going?" And while it was easy for me to say, well, I just made the decision and I committed to showing up each day, there was more to that. And so it really boiled down to, and I think there was just this little transition period where I knew I was tired of being overwhelmed, being overweight, being out of shape, being stressed out. And so I knew there was that. I also knew that there was this blueprint that was, it's not that I looked at it and said, well, this is the blueprint to follow, but it was this blueprint of, well, this is the way life is supposed to be. I could see the unhealthy, the things that family members and people that were a little bit my age or older that were dealing with because of unhealthy habits. And so that blueprint, where I vowed I would never follow, I was following it unconsciously. I was just doing that. Here I found myself overweight, out of shape, overwhelmed. And I'm like, I got to do something. Now, I told myself that story over and over and over again. I got to do something. And I would get started, but I would try to overanalyze things. I would look at a plan. I'd try to find the cracks and flaws. And there would be this little I don't know what I call it, secret self or some sort of underlying belief. Like I believed I could do it. And I know for many people out there, and you probably know some others, maybe it's you, we believe, oh gosh, I could do that. All I got to do is show up and all I got to do is this. But then we got this other level of belief where it's like, when can we get a chance to go out for pizza and stuff? When can we give up this silly idea? Where's the escape hatch to get out of this? Where, what are you going to do when you're unmotivated? And because that always happens. What are you going to do when you're sore? And so we create these other stories around it. And I found myself, I was looking for cracks and flaws to get out of things like, when's my rest day? Or why, and really trying to find things of why it wouldn't work for me. And so I called myself out on that. I'm like, Stop looking for the reasons to quit. You've been really good at quitting. Stop it. Don't be good at quitting anymore. Just what would life look like if you didn't quit? And so there was that. I called myself out on that. Then I started looking at my mindset and my thinking. I'm like, okay, you're always strategizing because I had an hour commute. So I knew I was going to hit the gym right when I got home, but I had an hour's worth of time to either psych myself up or talk myself out of it. And I got really good at talking myself out of it, rationalizing, well, maybe I'll do doubles tomorrow. Then I do all these little things. You're really not feeling it today. And then I try to rationalize it. And I realized I need to just build the habits first. I got to stop working. So I didn't even step on the scale. I didn't care about the way the clothing was fitting me. I just knew that if I got myself into this, I can get myself out. What are the habits that I need to create? And it was more than just, hey, I just need to show up for my workout. I needed to create the habit of getting rid of the mindset where I got to find the escape hatch, getting rid of the mindset, well, I'll talk myself into doing these things the next day, trying to find an excuse to use, and rationalizing these things. And I needed to work on that mindset as well. Not just showing up for exercise, not just eating right. Oh, and the other self-talk that happens when you're grocery shopping or when you're feeling like, oh, I got the munchies, I got the sweets. And then you rationalize, well, I'll exercise harder tomorrow to work that off. So it's that mindset and that thinking. And I'm like, one of the habits I'm going to work on is disciplining my thinking as well as showing up for myself each day. And so I kept it really simple, pushing and pulling exercises. Really, it boiled down to eating, just making healthy choices when it came to as healthy as possible when it came to my eating. And I stopped I got to treat myself for this, or, I worked really hard this week. So I caught myself on those and not on that thinking. So it does work, when you're going into the grocery stores, what decisions you're making there. I needed to look through my cupboards and stop rationalizing, oh, I'm keeping that brownie mix in case company comes over. As if company's going to come over and I'm going to haul out and say, I got brownies, let's make those. No. The brownie mix is up there for when I'm stressed out and really frustrated, and then I'm going to make those brownies, and I'm not just going to have one brownie. The half of the pan's got to get eaten. So out the door, So it was those things. It's disciplining your thinking. And so I just started looking at where was I looking at the cracks and flaws and saying, what do I need to do to really shine and thrive and get these things done and just show up for myself? Because should I do that, and should I show up for my exercise and my nutrition? And that's what I did with my tracking. And I put an X on the calendar. One line was for showed up for workout. The other line was showed up for nutrition or my eating. And that was it. I kept it simple. The eating was lean proteins, vegetables, fruits, healthy fats, So I just knew in time it would change my life and I would get healthier. I didn't know what that would look like. I didn't know necessarily what that would feel like, but I knew that it would be different than the path I was on. And I also started to pay attention to the journey and realized this is a lifelong plan, because once I stopped getting out of the mindset of when are we going to finally be done with this exercise thing? When are we going to finally be done with this eating healthy thing? When I got rid of that thinking, because that was kind of a default thing, then other things started to change. And so my energy got up there. Speaking of energy, I always tell people, jump on my call at talktoperry.com, because I want to help you boost your energy. I mean, a lot of times we go around life like a 5-year-old smartphone, 2% battery life, no charger in sight, and you know that you've got those warnings that are coming on saying, we're about to go into conservation mode and you can't use your phone anymore. We go about life that way, in a busy. So I want to help you recharge that mental and physical battery of yours. So that, what would your life look like if your mental and physical battery was running at 100%? So head over to talktoperry.com. We'll have a conversation. And hey, worst case scenario, you walk away with 3 strategies to boost your energy, reclaim your time, and make you the priority, which is the very things that we're talking about today, some of those mindset things. Because your mind is like a muscle. And with practice, it does take practice, you can make it strong. Your thoughts can shape your world. And I know a lot of times we don't want to, we kind of sweep it under the rug. We ignore it. We pretend it's not there. We pretend that tomorrow will be a different day. I don't want to deal with that right now. But let's shape your success. Because just know, you can choose to use your power and take control, or you can let the excuses, the justifications, the rationalizations, the comparison, gosh, I could come up with a laundry list of things. You can let those control you and drain your power. It really boils down to deciding and committing to yourself and your goals, and really implementing some mindset discipline, and then being open to possibilities, learning, growing, and keep moving forward. You've got this, my friend. Hey, I'd love to hear your top takeaway from today's episode. Drop those in the comments. I do reply to those. Yeah, I actually do. I read them. I reply. And just know that you absolutely rock, my friend. And as always, remember, it's never too late. We'll see you next week. That's another Power Blast podcast in the books. Thanks so much for tuning in. And remember, when you are ready to recharge your battery, make sure you go to talktoperry.com. That's talktoperry.com. That's Perry. And I want to listen. I want to hear, what's going on. I want to help you in that 15-minute call to recharge your battery and reclaim your power so that you're off and running and creating massive momentum toward your dream. Also, every day I am delivering more motivation, support, tips, and strategies inside my free community with amazing people like yourself. And we are conquering the mindset and the fitness. I do 52 weeks of free training in there. Plus, I coach and I mentor people, as well as give you access to tons of resources and guides. It's called my Upside Down Fitness community because we work on a lot of mindset stuff, the inside stuff. And we're a fun group of people striving to make healthier habits in this awesome chapter of life. So make sure you get in there. I promise you'll absolutely love it. Just head over to upsidedownfit.com and you can get into the group. And hey, you would be an awesome friend if you get over to iTunes or wherever you listen to your podcast and leave an honest rating and review for the Power Blast podcast. It helps awesome people like you find this show even faster, and that's who I'm looking for, awesome people like you. That's all I have for this week, my friend, and just to let you know, you absolutely rock. That's all I have for this week. I'll see you on the next Power Blast podcast, and always remember, it's never too late. We'll see you next week.